As far as if I've ever been skinny, I've never really considered myself skinny. In 2008, I was nannying full-time for a family. I worked really, really hard and got down to about 167 pounds. That's the skinniest that I really remember. At that point in time, I was down into a size 10 jean. So the difference between where I'm at now and 15 pounds is almost 2 jean sizes. Maybe before that, the earliest or the thinnest that I remember was junior high and grade school. I was a pretty skinny kid. I was active. I played sports. And then I remember just kind of like the family joke is that I woke up in a woman's body one day. I had thighs, hips, a behind, and a chest. And I went from like a size 12, 14 girls' clothes to a size 13 in a junior's. Like, I skipped the entire rack of junior's clothes, basically. And I was able to maintain that. I was active. I played softball and basketball in high school. I played softball my first year in college. After not finishing school and everything, I waited tables. That allowed me to continue to maintain where I was at in the low to mid 150s. In 2003, I started working for a rent-to-own company where, because I was raised with all boys, I've just always been, I'm an equal, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to not do a delivery because I'm a girl. So I did deliveries. I was carrying furniture up 3 flights of stairs, delivering it to people's houses, doing returns if they didn't make their payments. And one day, the store manager and myself were rearranging the showroom floor, and we were carrying a couch. I had both of my hands around the feet of the couch like this, and he dropped his in, and when he did, I went straight down. I have bulging discs in my L3 and L4, or L4, L5. I can't really remember because it's been 9 years, but I know that if I don't go to the chiropractor on a regular basis, there are days where I can't get out of bed hardly because of the degenerative disc disease and the bulging discs. At that point in time, in 2003, I was 22 years old. The orthopedic surgeon said, "I don't know how you get out of bed. You have degenerative disc disease so bad that it looks like you're someone who's 80 years old and has worked manual labor your entire life. But I'm not going to do surgery because you're too young." Well, here I am 9 years later. I'm 31. Can't shed the 30 pounds I gained while I was off work on restrictions. Just recently, my husband and I relocated back down to Florida after living up in Illinois for 3 years. We're staying with a friend of mine. We've got just 1 bedroom. We now have jobs and everything's going well. We've joined a gym. We're looking at getting our own apartment soon, which will be nice just to be back on our own again. However, we're doing what we can to help her out as well. But as far as why I gained weight, it's eating habits. It really is, because when I was younger and I was an athlete, I could eat what I want and maintain my weight because I was practicing for 2 hours Monday through Friday, games on Saturdays, and I was working part-time on Sundays. It really, the eating caught up with me after I hurt my back and went on that work leave. So the hardest thing for me to break is my fast food habit. I love healthy foods, don't get me wrong. I love food. I will eat just about any food at least once to try it. The worst thing for me, though, is that growing up, my mom was a manager at Burger King. From my earliest days, I remember, what's for dinner tonight? Mom's bringing dinner home. 3-4 nights a week. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. On the weekends, we would hang out at the Burger King store that my mom was working out. And even after that, she worked at a Dairy Queen. We would hang out there, my brothers and I. Especially after my parents divorced. And, what do you do when you're hanging out in fast food? You learn how to work it. So, by 14, I knew just about everything there was to working the grill, working the drive-thru, because That's what it was. But so now, even though I know how nasty it is and how the ingredients aren't fresh and anything like that, and I've seen the stories of the goo and all that, I crave that food because that's what I was raised on. I mean, I cook, my grandparents cook, my parents both cook, but even beyond all that, I crave fast food. My husband will laugh because we can be out in the car, I can be looking down at my phone doing something, trying to find directions to where we're going next, and I look up and I go, where's Burger King? Because I can smell it. Like, it's a smell that's ingrained in me just from growing up in the back room of a Burger King. That's, and that's my biggest struggle is food. And now that I'm working out, like, I have days where I can get rid of all the bad food, the Pepsi, you know, the soda, everything. But if I slip up once, then it's like a snowball effect, and I spiral out of control until I'm like, stop. And, and I try to tackle it again. And I'll lose 5 or 10 pounds, and then I'll spiral out, and then I'll gain those back, and then I'll stop. So I'm constantly losing the same 5 pounds over and over and over again. That's really why.